I'm getting lazy on you. I'm not going to move the tripod up because I need it at this height for the interior. So I'm putting in a new Uniden R7 on a blend mount in the F10 M5. Get this thing off of here. Let's get it to release. Uniden R7 blend mount for F10 M5. I'm doing a mirror tap hardwire kit, which is what this is. Rather than trying to wire it to the mirror, I like to just go direct to the fuse box, which is in the glove box or behind the glove box on an M5 and most BMWs. And cut this and set this up here. And then I've got an ADA circuit. This is a little one. This is a little 2 to 10 amp. I get this from this is an Eaton from, I think, AutoZone down the street. So what we'll do is we'll grab a little fuse. Normally these come with a fuse. We're gonna grab a couple little fuses here. I should have. I need like a little 5 amp. And we'll see. I used to look it up and be all obsessive about where to plug it in, but now I just stick it in there and hope it works. It's not really that big of a deal. It's just a 3 amp. There we go, 5 amp. This is why I buy a bunch of them when I go there. Yeah, this is what I want. And then we'll find another 5 amp in the car, a little 5 amp circuit. And that's how we'll do it. So what I need to do is cut and prep this. So here's what we got. So I got a little ADA fuse. All right, so I grab a little ADA fuse, which we'll put in the glove box. We got this crimped on, and then we'll find a spot to ground. There's usually a little spot somewhere under there that will ground it somewhere to the chassis. And actually this is a 2 amp fuse on it, so we have fuses coming out the rear. This will run up the headliner, up the A-pillar, up the headliner, into the mirror, and then plug directly into our R7. And so we'll find a spot that powers on when we power the car on. Let's start taking stuff apart to get prepped to run the wire. So step 1 was to figure out where the fuse box is. So actually in here, there's this little black tab in the glove box that you just push down and you can pull this thing out. So we take that little cover off. And we need to take this cover off here, which is usually tricky. Just need to get this behind it. So behind here is a screw, if it's like all the other BMWs. I want to do this without messing it up. I'm gonna need a little screwdriver, a little pick. Learned my lesson on these. There's a pretty stout little T30, I think, right here that doesn't allow you to pull this back. And then I'm gonna pull this side piece off. This thing's so awesome, this aviation tool that my buddy Derek from Sound and Motion turned me on to. Just take that panel off. That way you can run down the side here, get into the fuse box area. And so that should be all we need. Yeah, there's a little grounding, a little screw I can ground to, right down on the bottom. Perfect. Let's pop this off. So you could, actually this one would be pretty easy. Just mirror tap. I guess you just mirror tap this car. I'm just gonna run it like I always do. Figure it's gonna be a T25. Knew it. Idiot. I always dread doing radar detectors, but I don't know why, because they're usually pretty easy to do. Let's see, there's always a super stout screw right here that kind of holds the airbag in place. Look at that thing. It's no joke. I'll take my little finger, pop this off. Just enough so I can run down the side. Okay, we're good. So I'm just gonna tuck it up the headliner, come down through here, and run it into the fuse box. Pull it behind here, making sure we're staying out of the way of the airbag. Just pull this down. So I've got enough room to get out of the way of the airbag. You don't want this acting like a rope. So that's the key, is to keep it behind the airbag so it doesn't get hung up if there wasn't airbag went off. And then you pull back this weather stripping here just to give yourself some space to run behind. Okay, so what I always do, I'm going to connect this all. So let's put the blend mount on there first. Get our wires to come through. And then we'll find a spot that works. And that didn't work. All right, we're getting close. I took a little break. I was working on the Uniden pedals. And so this really isn't a great ground, but I think this will be sufficient. So I actually pulled the bottom bolt out of the fuse box, and then we'll put the ground in here with a little Phillips. I've never seen Phillips on a German car before. That's interesting. Why they would choose that type of fitting or fastener. Well, the question was, where the heck did that come from? We'll see if we can make this work. Yeah, it's better to just shine it up here. So once I get this ground in, I don't know if this is going to work. Once I get this in, then I'll be able to start searching for spots. You know, an easier thing to do would be to go find a wiring diagram, and you could probably just pull it out of the manual, but Actually, the dude never even gave it a manual in this car, so I don't have it. I'm gonna need a little shorty screwdriver, I think. Since I have this little grounding shim in here, I don't know if that's gonna affect my ability for this thing to screw in. Yeah. I'm gonna get a better ground. Just do a self-tapper. I'll self-tap and screw right here to this metal piece. That's what I'm gonna do instead, right here. Do it on the inside. Boom. You see that? I think you can see that. Yeah. I just put a little self-tapper in here. I'll pull all my cord back here. Zip tie it up once we find our spot. So now, let me get some needle nose, get rid of all this stuff. Okay, plugged in. That one's not gonna work because we got power. We don't want power that quickly. We want it to be dead when the car is dead. So I'm actually gonna disconnect this battery charger just to make sure. So keep yourself organized when you're doing this. Don't just go pulling fuses out because there's a lot of empty spots in these things.
X-band.
Yeah.
K-band. K-A-band. Laser.
The other issue is we got all the doors open. Let's try this. Nope. Still on. Okay, so that one's no good. All right, shouldn't have turned the camera off because I hit the very next one. So now, pull all this cabling through here. Let me get a couple zip ties. Just don't want someone getting in here and saying, "Oh man, this car's been rigged up." I'd rather have a nice, clean-looking install. All right, everything looks good there. That's all in. Just check the other side. Radar detector's off. And then it will turn on and off as we work through. Uh-oh, my airbag thing. Put that back on. Snap that. It's like I was never even there. So I bought this. This is a lot like the Prince Lionheart, but this is from a company called Brica, which has like a little bit of reinforcement here. I don't know how that's going to work, but hopefully this will help keep the seat from getting jacked up. This one also has a little strap that goes around the headrest to keep the back from drooping. So see how that does. So then this goes here, but then slide this thing in here. That's pretty slick. Okay, put this in its place. This put the headrest down. Let's come up a little bit. Yeah, see, this one's nice because this isn't gonna damage the headrest. Okay, that's in place. She can recline it a little bit or sit upright. She's pretty big, so we'll leave her like that. And these blue reinforcement things will hopefully keep the seat Looking nice, and then this will keep the leather from getting jacked up. And then our seatbelt will come in here. Like this. Slides in here like this. That'll stay there, and then that can come around. See, this is problematic. I'll show you in a second. We're gonna have to redo this. Yeah, that stinks because the seatbelt holder's in the way. So what I'm gonna have to do is drive this. This is probably gonna ruin this. But I'm gonna snip this thing back. This blue thing sits right on it. So this needs to sit like this in order to keep the seat from being damaged. I'm gonna get a marker. I'm gonna cut this thing out. It's only 25 bucks, so if I ruin it, I ruin it. So I'm modifying my seat protector here. All right, so here's what it looks like. So we got a little seat thing in here, set up. I like this. But then what I did, let me show you on the other side, I cut a hole in it. So see what I did right there. I just cut it out. We'll see how that holds up. I mean, this thing was only 25 bucks or something like that. So if it starts to fray up and cause a problem, I was thinking about putting some like tape, but I don't think tape will hold. So now we can put the seatbelt in without having to do anything crazy. It looks good. The issue will be Kate hitting the back seat because there's not a lot of room in this thing. I'll get the seat set up and see how it looks. So let's keep cleaning. Okay, so let's do the door card here. Let's get this finished up. This was already done, but I want to do it again because we got some polish on it, so I want to clean it up. Yeah, I really like this process of using the Swissvax too. This is just as good as the color lock, much simpler process overall. Same basic principle though. The nice thing about the color lock is that you have the little foaming tops that these don't have, but I really wanted to do this car with this process. Just to go through the entire process here again. You know, I've been using Swissvax for several years now on the leather. Maybe a year and a half, let's say. But I had never really used the brush. The brush just makes all the difference, man. Without the brush, you don't get anything done. So you grab the brush, and it comes out looking like that. Just amazing. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of this. Starting to come around. Maybe I'll start liking cleaning interiors. What do you think? I don't think that's going to happen. Although sitting in here in the garage isn't so bad. It's also kind of a pain in the butt to try to do video, especially when my guys aren't here on a Sunday. It's a lot harder to video interiors than it is exteriors. Let's try spray a little bit of cleaner. The cool thing about this cleaner, you can use it on everything. It cleans everything up nicely. Crap, I almost want to buy a new one of these cups here. It's a little bit scratched up. put this is going to kind of smear up the glass here, but I got some polish here too. And so from here, we'll maintain this with P&S interior cleaner. And once every once in a while, that's when we'll get out the big guns, either color lock or this, and clean it up. I'm just using the regular leather cleaner on the plastics. On the pedals too. We'll do that. Stuff is awesome. Now let's do our leather milk treatment here first. This makes it even more fun that I get to put the brand new trim on. Buff all this off super hard. I want to just flatten it out and get any excess off. Very nice. Then what we'll do, we'll take our leather cleaner. I'll put this anti-static crap on here just to see. Slimed it up. Took me an hour to get it off. Don't do that to yourself. Should have listened to myself. Okay. First you gotta put this in. Slide that back. Then we gotta put this piece in. Dang, it looks good. And then, whatever you do on this piano black stuff, you don't want to wipe it down. I already did this one here. I had to, because we couldn't figure out why the lights wouldn't turn off, because I had this unplugged. Wow. I know it's impossible for you guys to see on camera, but it looks so much different having that black. Look at that. So good. This is black too. All right, I'm gonna go do the other side. I'm actually gonna do the pedals here. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get you in here, but I'll try it. I'm just gonna hit this with some Forte. It's gonna be like Windex for me and just use it on everything. I wonder if that's scratched. I think that's some sticky stuff on there. I don't think that's actually scratched. Let's try this angle, see if we get a little better view here. What's going on? Their cleaner Forte. I'm just using the regular leather cleaner on the base here. imagine, I don't know how much of this is actually leather on this door panel, but if it's not leather, it really won't accept it and it won't matter anyway. Take a nice clean, fresh towel, wipe off the excess. I guess it would make more sense to wait to wipe the surrounding areas with leather cleaner just until after you do this step. Better at this trim. Now I got to take the big piece of trim out next. That's going to be the tricky part. Okay, so before I wire up the bottom, get this all put back together, let's get this set up here, which I'm gonna need more slack. I'll just let that hang for a second. Yeah, this one doesn't need to be cut. See, a lot of the M cars, there's a little lip that sticks out that I've got to cut. This one I don't have to do that. So let's first set our length around there. I like how thin the blend mount's mirror tap wire is way thinner. Much smarter than most of the hardwire kits that I've gotten in the past. So it just makes it easier that they have the hardwire kits. I used to try to go find it elsewhere. I don't know how many years the guys at Blend Mount have had a kit, but I got one now, and that's all that matters. Okay, so that's gonna snap there. Snap this in place. Come on. So when you push it up against the back, that helps make sure that your detector doesn't end up, or you can still move your mirror around unimpeded. This one I'll be able to keep pretty flat. See, some of them I end up pointing up because of the way the buttons work. And I want to be able to reach the buttons. People get so mad at me for that. Gotta be flat or you're losing strength. It's never been a problem for me. And this will come on nicely. Nice little pigtail there. Tighten up the back here. Then what I'll do, I bought this through Vortex Radar's link to support him for all the work he does and honoring the source of why I own a Uniden. So he has Amazon affiliate links where he gets some credit for all the work he does in the radar realm. And what I'll do is I'll go to his website, and his site will have all of his recommended settings, and I'll just follow that to a T. Nice. Yeah, this one's great because I get to mount this one flat. I can reach the buttons. Good. Okay, so let's wire it up now. So now I can tuck this in. And that's why I didn't clean the windshield beforehand. So I'm doing this M5 a little bit differently than I have other cars, and I'm kind of taking you through the whole process of putting it together. All right, so I'm gonna do the windshield and then we'll clean the dash. We'll be done. So this is how I do it. Super messy. That's the way I prefer to do windshields. Soak it down, clean it off. Especially when you get this area where I was palming it from cleaning, or not cleaning, from installing. So give it a good wiping with a towel, flip it, and another wipe. I think I'm really digging the Expel windshield, or the Expel tint. I take the stoners, the bonnet on it, and I go through here and finish the wipe. I gotta order my E-Pass, which I'll put up here. I think that thing really needs to be, well, we should probably clean that too, but we'll get to that in a minute. So, I guess the main thing I have left to do here in the interior will be to get the steering wheel done. That'll be fun. So, the steering wheel done. Yeah, that red button is growing on me. I'm not a red button kind of guy, but once again, I'm trying to de-grandpa this thing, so I'm doing some things that are a little more aggressive, a little cooler than I normally would. Nice. Okay. Take a little bit of this. Hit my screens. Be gentle with the plastic. Wow, this thing's nice. Okay, so let me wipe off the rest of the interior here. Some interior cleaner. Get this thing off the lift. So here's the rear of the car. Complete. You can see the door cards, the new piano black trim. The rear came out nicely. This leather's pretty soft and there's lots of give. So you can see some indentations from me kneeling. I'm gonna keep the LeatherTech floor mats in here for now. We'll see how they do. I'll probably end up putting the OE ones back in. But you can see the child seat. I cut back the piece there so we have room to clip in. The backs of the seats look good. The monitors look okay. Everything looks pretty nice. And then the front. Here's the front of the car. See, the door cards look good. Everything's clean. Leather's treated. Diamond pedals. You can see the Uniden. You can see the Uniden. Nice and flat for you this time. Piano black trim. Center console's looking pretty good. And you see the red start button, which I'm sure some of you are going to yell at me about. I think it looks cool. A large piece of piano black. Seats look awesome compared to what they looked like before. There you go. Interior's done. Waiting for floor mats. Man, the car's coming together. All right, so that'll do it for the interior for now. Floor mats should be here Monday or Tuesday, so put the floor mats in. I'm going to take the car out of here because the GT3 is coming in here tomorrow. Man, what a project. Wow. Feels good to get this thing on the road. Now I can do the downpipes and the intake and do the other little things, the suspension kind of as I need. Pull it in, work on it for a few days, pull it back out. But the detail, the big project is now done. So yeah, big interior project. We'll do the steering column. I have a new piece here, and the aluminum paddle shifters, and the new steering wheel, the M Performance steering wheel. Also get a new one of these as well. I want a new shifter because this one's all scratched up, and the interior's done. So this car probably has another 6 months worth of work to do, but for now the detailing process is done. So anyway, thanks for watching the series. I guess the series will continue a bit, and I don't know, maybe we'll separate the modifications out. But anyway, thanks for watching. As always, stay tuned for more crazy.